The scene, interior day, a corporate boardroom filled with executives trying to figure out how to increase sales, how to motivate collectors to buy every character in a wave instead of a select few. Every idea is rejected until one unholy voice silences them all. Take an action figure, something they really want, something big, something expensive. Cut it into pieces and make them buy it one piece at a time, with the purchase of another action figure. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the 10 Best Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures Volume 2. This is the 10 Best Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures Volume 2. Volume 1 was from way back in 2015. We figured it was about time to revisit the list, as a few more Build-A-Figures have been released since then. Also, it's a really old video, and I was the only one voting at the time. For Volume 2, the voting machine was turned over to you to determine the list. You were all very patient and polite while you waited in line. There's only one voting machine. That's my fault, something we're going to look into for Volume 3 in 2021. 43 different figures were nominated from both the Toybiz and Hasbro eras. Hundreds of votes were cast via our Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, and on the action figure subreddit. This is the result. Number 10 is 2006 Toybiz MODOK, the machine only designed for only killing. The machine originally designed only for killing, I don't remember what it stands for. It's a giant, well above average size human head that very creepily still has a body attached, floating around in a hover chair because his tiny body can't support this giant head all by itself. He's grotesque, he's unabashedly vicious and violent. He hasn't been featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, so as we prepare to enter the MCU next 10 years, there's a very good chance that he could be the next Thanos. Number 9 is 2017 Hasbro Marvel's VULTURE, from Spider-Man Homecoming as portrayed by Michael Keaton. It's a version of the Vulture I never imagined could exist, or that I would fall so deeply in love with. I can honestly say that the existence of this version of the Vulture took that character from being a character that I could not have cared less about even existing to being one of my absolute favorite character designs of all time, period, exclamation point. Build a figure, build a wings, build a vehicle, call it whatever you want, the marketing is the same, the result is the same, the only way to get the complete figure was to buy the whole line. Still one piece missing, of course, an unmasked Keaton head. Hopefully someone at some point, some toy company will get a Keaton figure out for some movie and we can swap it over to this figure. Come on, NECA, Mr. Mom Multiplicity, the founder, the other guys.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Was that accidental or were you trying to quote TLC on purpose?
I don't even understand the reference.
Number 8 is 2018 Hasbro Monster Venom. There have been a lot of different artistic interpretations of Venom since his debut in 1984, and on top of that, Venom has had a lot of hosts: Peter Parker, Eddie Brock, Flash Thompson, Mac Gargan, and others. The most commonly depicted version is a big, monstery, tentacled, toothy, tongue-lashing alien creature that wants to eat brains and chew gum. And he's all out of gum. The Monster Venom is Hasbro going all in on hugeness and monsterness. Some tentacles on his back, teeth, tongue, claws, and toes. It's the savagery of Venom on full display, a kinetic statue of the symbiote spider, the Clintar from planet Clintar. Number 7 is 2008 Hasbro FANG FOOM, the biggest figure on this list, the most expensive figure on this list. If you don't already own him, maybe just appreciate him from afar or hope that he gets a redo someday. FANG FOOM dropped from the number 1 spot on Volume 1 all the way to number 7 for this list. While he is an incredible feat of plastic toy engineering, a love letter to Build-A-Figure collectors, the fact that so few fans have ever even seen one of these things in person has absolutely negatively impacted his ranking. Hard to call it the best or rank it number 1 if nobody ever actually gets to play with it. Number 6 is 2018 Hasbro Sauron, the newest figure on the list. In fact, as of this video, the newest Build-A-Figure, period. And that's something that Hasbro should be proud of. The most recent figure released also ranking as one of the best 6 Build-A-Figures over the entire 16-year period. Marvel Legends isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Sauron himself continues the celebration of great figures from the 90s, getting the modern treatment like Deadpool, Cable, Shatterstar, and Deathlock. Sauron was produced early in the Toybiz action figure line back in the 90s, and while that figure was as fun as you could possibly have asked a Dinosaur Man figure to be at the time, this figure is the realization of everything that Sauron should be in comparison to the rest of the figures in this line. And I still don't have him yet, so if you do, we are temporarily not friends anymore. Number 5 is 2005 Toybiz Galactus, the only figure on this list whose position remained unchanged from Volume 1 to Volume 2. Now that is a character who really knows his place in the cosmos, and that place is just beyond the horizon, contemplating which continent he wants to consume first. Galactus is one of the timeless Build-A-Figures from the Toybiz era, something done so well, so beautifully executed that it stands up to scrutiny lo these 13 years since it was released. Is it the sculpted details that make collectors love it so? Is it the shiny metallic paint? Is it the sheer size of the thing? Could it be that it's also the only Galactus figure that has ever been released as part of the line? One of life's great mysteries that will never be solved. Number 4 is 2015 Hasbro HULKBUSTER Iron Man. HULKBUSTER has always been one of Tony's more popular Iron Man suits, and fans were overjoyed, flabbergasted that it actually made an appearance in Avengers Age of Ultron. There was a Toybiz figure back in 2005 that was released as a single-pack figure, but it was based on a more comic book style of the suit, as opposed to the Marvel Cinematic Universe real-world design that took something fans knew about into something mainstream moviegoers were now familiar with. And it still feels weird. My parents know who Groot is. I'm never gonna get used to that. You had to buy 7 figures to complete HULKBUSTER, but you were rewarded with a figure that could finally tuck the Hulk into bed by dropping an entire building on top of him. Number 3 is 2016 Hasbro Juggernaut, one of 6 figures to make the list that didn't even exist back in 2015 when we made Volume 1. More proof that Hasbro is still heading in the right direction with this line, still listening to the fans and giving them the figures they want. Juggernaut has a lot of character, but most importantly, he has a lot of articulation, making for one of the most posable Juggernaut figures ever released in any line. He's big, he's got the moves, and he's a perfect complement to your X-Men comic shelf, ready to lay the beat down on Deadpool, Colossus, and everyone in between. Number 2 is 2018 Hasbro Apocalypse. Like Juggernaut, he's a figure that didn't exist for Volume 1. Like Sauron and Monster Venom, he's a figure that came out this year in 2018. Like Apocalypse and Apocalypse before him, he's Apocalypse. There was a Toybiz Apocalypse Build-A-Figure back in 2005. However, like FANG FOOM, he's a figure that most collectors in 2018 don't own and therefore cannot truly appreciate for what he was. And like HULKBUSTER Iron Man, there was a single-packed Apocalypse back in 2004. This one was the one that hit the right notes for the collectors in the now, a hot line of X-Men figures, a character that fans had been asking for an update to, another success for Hasbro as they continue to gain momentum. And at number 1, 2005 Toybiz Sentinel. 6 figures were new to Volume 2, 2 figures, MODOK and FANG FOOM, dropped in their ranking. Galactus stayed in the 5 spot. The Sentinel was the only figure that moved up on the chart, and it moved all the way to the top. The Sentinel is gigantic. It is incredibly well articulated for how large it is highly detailed, it is a work of art, it is the standard by which Build-A-Figures old and new are and should always be judged. If it were released today with the same quality that Toybiz put into it back in 2005, collectors would be army building them, and that's a fact, and I can prove it because collectors are already army building the 2005 version, and those things run like $150 to $200. That's the 10 Best Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures Volume 2. 30% of this list was from the year 2018. Sauron, for regions like mine, is technically from the future. Hasbro knows what collectors want, sometimes even before they do. Hard to compete with that kind of market awareness and the strength of the Marvel brand. Hard to compete with the quality and characters that have been delivered over the 16 years since the line began. Hard to believe that the next 10 Best Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures list will very likely include 5 or 6 figures that don't even exist yet. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you to those who are. Please share this video, and if you're in the position to help the channel grow, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy and let us know in the comments down below if you agree with the results, and if not, who you think should have been number 1. Just a reminder that the staff at Toy Galaxy is very easily influenced by donations if you ever feel the need to lobby for a specific character. Cut.